Alright guys, BLM here, we're back with more Fallout 4. Continuing on where we left off, we just reached the Institute, and the father knows we're here, so let's see what's going to happen now. It is nighttime now. Last time I recorded it was like around 5 o'clock or so. So, probably won't record for too long tonight. I do have class early in the morning tomorrow, but we'll record for probably like an hour. But we'll see. Okay, okay, so why is this place so linear? So let's see what happens here. I'm assuming some interesting stuff's gonna happen. Wait, is this Sean? Oh, wait, can we go in?
Broken.
Okay.
Don't have the key.
What is that? Really? That was too much? There was like a little bit of flowers there. Shit. Let's just drop something random. Oh fuck, do we not have anything? Where'd all our shit go? Oh, this is miscellaneous. I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm just an idiot. I don't know. We probably don't have anything too heavy though. What's that? Let's get rid of this. Oh, wrong one. And what is that? 3. Sure, we'll get rid of that. Okay.
Can't pick this.
Like, what are we doing? Oh, there it is. Alright.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
They didn't change his name.
Sean? Oh my god. It's really you. Sean,
Father, what's
it's
going
me.
on? What's happening?
I'm your dad.
Wait, did they actually make the kid look somewhat like you? That's interesting.
Yes, it's me. Your dad. I'm here, Sean.
What's going on? Father?
Doesn't this sound like Ethan Mars? It really does to me. I don't know. Ethan Mars from Heavy Rain.
It'll be okay, Sean. I'm here now.
I don't know you. Go away.
Again, shouldn't you... I know, whatever.
There's someone here. Help me.
Shouldn't there be a lighter approach here?
Please, Sean. I'm your father. Talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me. He's trying to take me. Father? Father, help me.
There's that fucker. What do you mean he's busy?
S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
How can you say that with a straight face? I don't know.
This is insane. All of it.
The degree of trauma you're experiencing right now is understandable. Please, just try to relax. I know this is all difficult to take in.
Just help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers, and answers you shall have. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
To be honest, I was just thinking in my head that, like, what if this is Sean? But then I was thinking, like, well, that doesn't really make much sense, right? Because Kellogg did whatever he did. I mean, like, he stole the baby, and he's, like, still younger. So it's like, it doesn't
I hope you're not
necessarily
too
make sense.
overwhelmed.
But that's something that was in my head, to be honest. Let's
How
this.
is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod, and when searching for the sun, you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable.
So how does Kellogg fit into this, though? Again, like, I was like, this is something I was thinking, that, like, maybe, like, the leader of the Institute is Sean, but it's like, again, it doesn't really make much sense from Kellogg's perspective. Like, I mean, unless Kellogg was also a synth. I think he had a brain, though.
This really is a matter of importance.
Human synths?
Well, I guess that's what he's
Really?
talking about, right?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Do we want to? No, let's just go for
Collateral
this one.
damage? She was murdered.
Killed? Yes. Murdered? I'm not so sure about that. Still, I do regret never having known her. For
How could you
many
regret
years,
choice you
I
never had?
questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
After what I've seen, I pity the man.
But how does this make sense, though? Because Kellogg was still like.
After what he did to you, I'm shocked you would be so generous. But yes, I understand you've experienced things. Perhaps you ended up knowing him better. I, for one, will never truly forgive him. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and
Oh.
his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan.
Well, I mean,
He never
fine,
failed,
I guess.
but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective.
You'd think he would have like mentioned something like this, but fine, whatever.
No coincidence
Sure.
that it seemed a fitting way to allow you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a cool twist.
What else can I say?
Yeah, your son's the leader of the organization that you've set out to destroy, but it's, I don't know.
So you're in charge of the
Like it doesn't entire like
I am the
it seems
acting
like
director.
all the stuff to make it make sense are like things that they're really stretching for.
It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute.
Like it seems like things that
It's important.
they're saying now that to make it make sense, it's like stuff that wasn't really implied earlier or wasn't really set up earlier. Maybe it was, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I remember, like there was no setup to this. Like yeah, I don't know, whatever.
But director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position. Obviously. I've lived my life within these walls.
I live my life as best I
dedicated to
could.
Science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Maybe. I don't know. This is so much to take in.
I know. And I am sorry. You have been through so much in such a short time. The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Should we side with him or not? Again, from what I've heard, the Institute ending isn't great. But if, I feel like if this was a real situation,
I hope
I
you're
wouldn't
not too overwhelmed.
necessarily be opposed to this, though.
Things are pretty terrible up there.
I've seen it myself. I know. That is why we are so committed to creating a better life for ourselves here. And it's a life that you can now be part of. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Yeah.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time
Really?
to get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, and Dr. Holdren in Bioscience. And finally, Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Okay. So that was a lot.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Okay, so what should we do? Okay, so... So we just explore? So what are we doing? What's our main quest? It's just a... Okay, so where are these people? Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I just don't think it was set up super well, but whatever. It's a cool twist. But the thing is, obviously, is he telling the truth and what? I mean, like, I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. Holy shit, this is a big building. It's all underground, right? I think they mentioned. Yeah, and also the mission's called Underground something, right? Where are these? Here? No? So are these all synths then? Like, who's an actual human around here?
Welcome to the Institute, sir. Pardon me, sir.
Nothing to report, sir.
Well, the thing is, though, is that where the fuck are we going?
Yes?
Eve.
As the Institute's first personal synth, I try to set a good example.
What? Flirt.
If all personal synths are as good
Why not?
looking as you, I should get one for myself.
I'm certainly flattered.
Is she good looking?
It was a real pleasure to meet you. I'm sure you're still taking everything in, so I'll let you get back to that.
Whoa, that was something. What is this? Fillmore. Nothing? No one here. Huh. Yeah, I just don't know where I'm going. So yeah, should we still work at the railroad? Or should we just say fuck it?
You know the protocol, sir. The authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office.
Reporting status.
Okay. Let's see what this does. I I think we're still gonna side the railroad, I'm thinking.
Knock some heads together.
It's an honor to meet you,
Targeting
sir.
package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with me.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us.
Yeah, this is just too sketchy, I feel like. The trust.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
No problems here.
Good to hear. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the synth retention. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping, that matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient.
See, I mean, there's some things I want to talk about.
Tracking. In a word,
I was kind of holding off earlier, obviously, because all the story stuff going on here. This stuff I don't really care about as much. So, I mean, like, new episode of Survivors today, the merge episode, and it was fine. Kind of a I feel like at the end of the day, it's kind of like a kind of meh episode. I think if Angelina, sorry, ended up going home because of that, I feel like that would have been great. But just the way it was, where unanimous vote against Elizabeth, it's just like kind of like
you there?
Wait,
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production line. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Very well.
Okay.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. I just wish it didn't happen so often. I swear I spend half my time smoothing the feathers that Justin ruffles. We need to be able to collaborate with the other divisions, and that's a lot harder when they're always angry at us.
A little friction between departments is normal. You'll work through it.
Yeah, and it was an interesting episode. It was a very interesting merge episode. I feel like this edit of this entire season has been really interesting so far, where like the edit is so balanced. I mean, with the exception of Allison, who's like lacking behind with only, I believe, 6 confessionals, everyone else is between 11 and 21, which is, like, again, only 10 confessional range, which is pretty good, especially compared to last season, where like Chelsea had, I believe, like 2 or 3 up to this point. I think 2, right? Because I think she ended up having 3 in the entire season. So I think she only had 2 up to this point, and Dominic had like 24 or something. So yeah. Yeah, it's been a very balanced confessional count, but it's not a very high confessional count though. Again, 21 for the person with the most confessionals at this point is pretty low. Actually, I did look this up. I believe it's actually the lowest in the history of Survivor. I think it's tied for lowest. I mean, I think it's tied with like Randy Bailey. I think had the highest in Gabon at this point, 21.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up.
Doctor.
And also another record-breaking thing is, I believe this is the first ever in English language Survivor, the first ever merge vote that was unanimous. I actually looked this up as well, and I believe this is the case. Which again has never happened, especially at a 13-person tribe. It's ridiculous that it happened. 12-1. Yeah, I love how like no one was even worried about an idol or anything from Elizabeth.
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facility.
So this is, I'm assuming at this point, it's 100% our son. So,
As you might guess,
at least there's
they
that.
keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems
Unless this is a massive
We
fucking
maintain
ploy
enough
from the entire thing, but I
systems
don't
to
think
make it
that's
possible
the
to live
case.
and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting
So,
as some
who
of
else
the
was
other
there? I'm trying to think.
it's at least as important.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll go
So,
through the cast
now
and
that
just
you're here,
general impressions. Again, Elizabeth, she was a fun person on the show. I think at the end of the day, though, she's gonna end up being kind of forgettable. I feel like in the grand scheme of Survivor, like, she's just gonna get lost in the shuffle. I feel like she's, like, people are talking about this on Reddit right now, of like, oh, will she be a returnee? And I just don't see it happening. I feel like because there's already, like, Lauren Rimmer, who I feel like is someone who is more likely to get asked back than Elizabeth.
Absolutely.
Oh, good to hear.
Especially because Lauren Rimmer at least has the, like, oh, dumb move of giving Mike half her idol and whatever else, like that thing. While, and also was obviously more beloved by the general public, while Elizabeth is like, well, she's fine. But while she had a decent exit, it's like, still not, like, really super memorable. But I don't know. Power needs.
Who built this place originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war.
Oh, fuck, I finished my drink? Damn it.
Took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and made increasing.
Alright, sorry, wait, I'm moving around here.
Laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it. That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh,
So what are these other
I
ones?
know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me.
There's one here. Did we go here already? Maybe not. Or maybe we did and we just missed one. Yeah, going through the cast, like, I still feel like Nick is the most likely winner at this point. And like, yeah, the other, like, Edgic people don't seem to agree necessarily. At least they don't have him at number one like I would. But I feel, like, I just have a feeling that Nick is the winner. I don't know. I mean, like, again, he could lose. And it'll be fine, whatever. But I feel like just Edgically, I feel like there's no, like, again, he had a very mixed first episode, which is a lot of the reason why people, like, the non-spoiled whatever thing, like, don't have him high in the winner rankings. But it's like, for me, it's like, I feel like that's part of the, like, one, I feel like it's necessary because he was going to be booted. And two, I feel like it's kind of them playing with the editing a bit. I feel like, especially because, like, all the content since then has been very positive. And in this episode, I was kind of a bit worried because he didn't really get much content until like 20 minutes into the episode. And then also when he only got one confessional the entire episode. But that one confessional is very good, where it pretty much explains that he doesn't have to do anything. That people are coming to him with alliances and how he can use those to better his game and stuff. And I think that's a very good confessional for the merge, even though it's his only one, but I think it is pretty good. I don't know.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
So I still feel pretty confident about him. I don't, like, there's other people though. I'm like, again, let's just go through the cast. We got Angelina never winning. Again, no shot, especially after this episode, but even before this episode, she had no shot. I think Angelina's probably gone within the next 2 weeks.
I'm an outsider. Would there even be?
Then you got Mike White, who again I think is set up for a deep run, but I just don't think he's gonna win. I could see him being like fourth boot. I can see him being, I don't know, like third place. Like, I don't know. But either way, I just don't see Mike White winning. I could see Mike White like bowing out at Final Four or something ridiculous like that. I don't know. We'll see. Well, alright, then we got the, let's just go by their old tribes. I guess we got, well, Elizabeth's gone now, so Alec. I'm very impressed by Alec. Again, if it wasn't for him being banned from the reunion, I would actually be relatively high on Alec. And I wouldn't think he was going to win just because, again, his edit really hasn't had much substance up until now.
No hurry.
Tell me more about those synth gorillas.
But I think, like, I don't know, he just seems like a decent, like, I actually think he's a decent player. Again, I feel like he got a bit caught up with the Natalia vote. I think that was the wrong move, obviously. But the way he acted around this merge, like, I think I was actually very impressed with the way he pulled things off. Again, I could see him being blindsided within the next few weeks, but I think this is a good setup that he put together here. I was actually pretty impressed with how he was able to create this 6-person alliance, convince Christian, Gabby, and Nick to say, okay, yeah, we can get rid of 2 Davids first, and then we'll flip as 11. Which again gives him a lot of options. I just think it was a really good move. And you got Allison, who's again same thing, but even probably in a better spot just because no one's going after Allison. However, based on the edit, Allison is not winning this game. But like based on like if you were out there on the island, I think she's in a really good spot. But I have a feeling Allison's going out around like 7 to 8 range. If I were to guess, again, I think she's getting a very Andrea game changer style edit or a I don't know. Like, I mean, this edit that doesn't have much substance to it in the pre-merge, because, like, I mean, like, someone like Sarah Lucina had a similar edit in terms of confessional count as well in Game Changers. However, Sarah Lucina had some substance within those first few episodes. She had, like, these confessionals that were, like, you could just tell were, like, winning confessionals, while Andrea, again, didn't have those, and, again, Allison does not have those either. So I don't feel like she has a shot at winning, but I think she's one of these people who's probably going to be winning Immunity Challenge, probably going to be a good strategic player, but not one of these people that are going to end up winning the game. Probably getting taken out because being too big of a threat or something around 7 or 8.
Don't worry, I promise I won't get in your way.
And then
I do appreciate that. Oh.
Who's there? John? I think I'm out on John.
I've been told to install a cursor chip.
I think I'm 100% out on John now. As a winner. Again, I love him as a character, but as a winner, and it's not really because of this episode, but it's been for these last couple episodes, and it's kind of been building up to here at the merge, where he got stuff, but a lot of it was just about the merge, not really much about him and his strategy and him as a character or anything. So I feel like John's good for the next couple weeks, but I just don't think John's winning this game.
Thank you.
And then we got Dan, who I already talked about Dan. Dan's placement has been spoiled. So spoiler alert. Supposedly he's in the Final Tribal Council, and it's interesting how he gets there. Especially because like we've been set up to have this like sort of.
Unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
This what is this?
I'm good for
now. We've been set up to have this this grouping of Alec, Mike White, whatever, this group along with the those Davids, and that's interesting. I just realized I switched tribes, didn't I? Oh, whatever. Should we just continue on? Let's just continue on. I kind of just want to continue talking here. Where are we going, though? I don't know where we're going. What was I even talking about? Well, Dan's not winning this game. Stop. Like, even if he makes it to the end, like, he's not winning this game. It doesn't really matter. And then...
Going to tell me about this mysterious place.
I thought all the surface people look like monsters. But you seem pretty normal.
Fuck, wrong button.
You wouldn't happen to have a spare polarizer on you, would you?
Excuse me.
Father is more than just
I don't know what we're doing right now.
Greetings.
Who else is there? Yeah, I want to finish talking about this before I end the episode. Christian, I think I'm out on Christian too as a winner. I think he was pretty good pre-merge and everything. I think now he's just coming off as such a big threat, and I'm just really getting David Wright vibes from his edit. Of like, I think he'll make it very far. I think he'll make it probably near the end, but I just don't see him winning. I just feel very big David Wright vibes from his edit at this point. So yeah, don't see him winning. We got Gabby, who I think Gabby had a really good episode. And I think the only bad thing about Gabby's episode was the fact that she talked about how she wanted to keep Elizabeth, and then Elizabeth went. I think that's the only downside to this edit. But again, I think she had a pretty good episode. I think my winner rankings, I think she goes up a bit on my winner rankings. Do I think she's the winner? Probably not. I think best case scenario for her is probably Final Tribal Council loser, but I don't know. I think she has a shot though. And who's left? I think it's just the other tribe, right? The orange tribe. Kara, fuck it, whatever.
Looks like everything's running
It's I don't know. I really don't know Kara. Like, Kara's getting such a strange attitude to me because it's like I don't feel like she's getting any substance in her edit, but like there's not much about her, like what she does, like there's nothing about her as a person, but she's also being shielded by the edit, which I find interesting. Which again, a lot of people have her as the winner. I don't think she's the winner. But there's a lot of people also talking about this is also interesting that like Alec was banned, but Kara wasn't banned, and Kara did post some things on her Instagram supposedly, or Snapchat was it? I forgot. Something like she posted something with her and Alec in it, yet she didn't get in trouble. So it's like that's interesting. Okay, what are we doing right now? Where is this? Oh, we need to find terminal. Well, where's the terminal in here? Is this a terminal? Probably not, right? It's just a button. Oh, there's an elevator? That's cool. Who else is left? I'm trying to think. You got, yeah, Kara, like, I don't know. I really don't know. Again, I guess she would be high on the winner rankings, and I know Edgic currently has her at number 1, and I just don't agree with it. Because also, I feel like a David wins this season. I think that's another thing. I just feel so confident at this point that David wins this season. However, I do think if a Goliath does win, I do think it will be Kara. But I just feel like a David wins this season. Based on the editing, based on... just based on the editing, really, just from the premiere and everything. I just feel like this is being set up as the David's story to like where they're gonna end up beating the Goliaths. So there's that. And then I think the only two people left are David and Carl. Carl, I kind of was low on his chances to win before this episode. I'm kind of even lower now. He's not winning. He's not winning this season. I mean, yeah, stop. I actually think he's probably a better player. I mean, no, I don't know. Like, I think he's pretty good. It seems like he's pretty good socially, in the sense that like you see him, like automatically talking to some of these other Goliaths about. I mean, mind you, he's talking about getting rid of another David. So I mean, I don't know, but you see him like right away just talking to all these other people. But I don't know, whatever. I mean, like Carl's not winning, and then Davey is gone. His edit's shot, and he's been going down a little bit here and there. Like, but as of last episode, I still had him as a contender. Like, I think he was like, I think there were like probably 7 people I would have said could win at the end of last episode. He's gone. He's not winning. 0 confessionals. Pretty much invisible during the merge episode. And again, unless this is like the editors trying something new, he's not winning this game. And I feel like it's so. unlikely that he wins the game at this point. But I don't know. His edit's really strange too. But I mean, again, if we're going by tradition, he is not winning this game. Alright, we'll end the episode here. Next episode, we'll try to figure out what we're doing right here. But for now, thank you for watching.